Hello, Facebook, YouTube. It is Thought Garden Day 5, brought to you by Felicity and Felicity. This is my Simply Felicity Media logo and shirt. And I honestly got this idea from God to make myself into this little superhero. You can see it closer here, this little sticker. If you've seen my Facebook business page, you've already seen it. So anyway, my supporters monthly at the $20 or month level uh, can get this sweatshirt and that sticker and a mug. And so you might want to consider doing that at patreon.com. But I appreciate so much your support getting this book, Thought Garden. And today, day 5, wow. Well, on the back of the book, I talk about that this is my living epistle. And if there were a day that encapsulated a message that I feel like I'm put on this earth to share, it would be day 5. It kind of distills the journey that I had in my life where, hello, Courtney, faithful Courtney, greetings. It distilled the part of my life where I really went from a life that I did not like at all. Talk about frustrating, disappointing, disappointing, painful, or a lot of words that I would describe my life for a pretty long period of time. If it weren't for the fact that I loved God and had a relationship with God and was going to a church where, I was learning things that really, really helped me connect to the love of God. I don't know, you might have been carted me off somewhere because I really had a very different expectation for my life than how things turned out. And so, day 5, Dream Day, is a distillation of how I turned that around. It's definitely the longest entry. It is your traditional devotional entry. And God just gave it to me in a way that I wanted to lay it out so that I could take you on the journey kind of my thoughts in changing my life. And so, what I learned at this turning point in my life, so many things. First of all, you could dearly, dearly want something that wasn't the absolute best for you. And so that may not have really helped my thoughts that the will of God was out there. And God ended up telling me that I saw him too much outside of me than inside of me, that I didn't concentrate on that part where God and I connect. I didn't concentrate on being made in the image and likeness of God. That wasn't my concentration in my relationship with God. So, I was very surprised when God told me that. And it was the time where I began to turn that around. And so even though at the beginning of this journey of me, hey Kay, of me kind of looking to change my life, I wanted something that God did not want for me at the time, or but also wasn't the best for me. And so I really can connect those two ideas, which is that the more that I concentrated on my connection with God, not God out there and I'm trying to get there, or God reached down to me, but that we actually connect. We connect from the level of creation. Like he created me in connection with him. I'm created in his image. And so I just stopped I really reduce more and more and more the separation between myself and God. There's a part of God that's outside of me, but there is a part of God that I represent. As I concentrated on that, I really began to see what was best for me. So it became not like, this is what's best for you from a parent to a child type of way, like you don't know anything, you don't know what's best for you, to me discovering myself, what I'm here to do, and then saying, in order for me to do that, these are the things that are best for me. So I became, through my connection with God, I became connected to the will of God and his desire for me. And so one of the scriptures I talk about on the lengthy day 5, I know probably everyone looked at it and thought, oh, finally, like a devotion. As somebody put in a review, that you're gonna find it hard to just read one day at a time, and I totally get that. Actually, I think that probably a good way to read this is to read the whole thing and then go back one day at a time and really like hone in. Day 5 is almost standalone. You could skip it on your first read, and because that one will certainly give you plenty to do on one day. So anyway, one of the scriptures, which is really a foundational scripture for me, Psalm 37, for that if when we delight ourselves in the Lord, he gives us the desires of our heart. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he gives you the desires of your heart. And so um, I had heard this before, but it really came alive to me that when we delight ourselves in God, in his ways, in his laws, in the way he wants to do things. Because we could say we love God, but then we say, I just can't, I don't like how you do things. Like we're like, I like this, but I don't like that. When we begin to delight ourselves in the way God does things, he places his desires on the inside of us in order to bring them to pass. And so, like I said, my way of seeing that was that I discovered myself in God. I discovered who I was to him and who I was being made to be. And so then what was best for me became more obvious, as a function of who I see myself as. So, that is really what day 5 is about. It's about digging into the fact that you were made in God's image. What does that mean? And what does that practically mean to you? And then now, what does that mean for your life? So I call it Dream Day, I believe, and Dream Day. And that was a big sort of a big activity for me that changed my life. I wrote down what my dream day would look like. And it was just such a huge place of discovering, what I like and what I want my life to be like every day. And what I found in doing that is I couldn't really contain how a description of what I wanted my life to look like in one day, because I like a lot of variety. So I did more of a dream month. Um, and, so I tweaked it to myself, but I wrote this down. I looked at it every day. I would tweak and adjust, tweak and adjust. I did that probably 9 or 10 years ago. And for the past 2.5 years, I could look back on that thing and say, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. In essence, that is everything what I'm doing. So I am a strong contender that we can design our life. We can design, the content, the flow of our life. We can design our day. We can live the life intentionally that we desire to live. Because as I put in there, we're responsible for our lives. And that can be a very offensive statement if you don't like your life. But even when I didn't like my life, could even say I hated my life at a time, I had to come to terms with the fact that somehow I had created it unintentionally. So now, what if I were intentional? What could I do? So that is the exciting question for all of us today. Um, I hope that day 5 really will be the beginning of a beautiful journey for you as well. And I put my email in the back of the book because I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how the journey is going. I'm always happy to discuss, supporting someone as a life coach through that. But I'd just love to hear about the impact to you. Thank you for those leaving reviews on Amazon. I really appreciate that. The latest review I got, I didn't know the person. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting very exciting. So, beginning to impact, more than just my circle. It feels amazing. And so I look forward to talking to y'all about day 6. But please enjoy the meditation, enjoy the questions in my favorite day, Dream Day. And I look forward to seeing you soon.